Well, first show, plenty was expected of Rasmus Højlund when he arrived in the Premier League. Fair to say it hasn't happened for him so far. I mean, Rob, what's the latest on his future then?
Well, Napoli are still in talks, and our colleagues at Sky Italy feel that they're making pretty good progress. Di Marzio, who we know very well, is a bit of a transfer genius, is all over that one, and he thinks that the player wants to go to Napoli. I think what's interesting is that United have changed their strategy a little bit, and they don't want to let a lot of these players that are surplus to requirements from Ruben Amorim's point of view go on loan without there being some sort of substantive element to it. So United will let Højlund go, but they want a permanent element to the deal. And I think that suits Højlund as well. He, from what I'm hearing from his end, he wants a little bit of certainty in his future and where it goes from here. You know, a season on loan in Serie A and then coming back to Old Trafford is not ideal from him.
So an obligation to buy.
Well, but so Napoli seem to favour a loan with an option to buy. Okay. Manchester United are a bit more stringent. If it's not a loan with an obligation to buy, they'd certainly like it to be an obligation if there's a realistic, achievable goals, and that's where I think the discussions are focused at the moment. I think it's pretty similar with Garnacho, which Carve's a bit of an expert on. Yeah,
I mean, before we get to Garnacho, Carve, we've seen Napoli revive players' careers. Not that Scott McTominay's career was particularly flagging, certainly going pretty well for Scotland, wasn't he? So this looks on paper like a pretty good move for Højlund.
Brilliant move for him. I mean, he's going to live and work in Naples. He's going to play in front of some of the most passionate supporters in the world, in one of the best grounds in the world. They're the Italian champions. They're in the Champions League. They're managed by Antonio Conte. He would be playing with Kevin De Bruyne, with Scott McTominay, with Billy Gilmore. You know, it's like, it's a dream come true. I wish I was going with him. Unfortunately, there's no offers from Sky Italy for me.
You're stuck with us, mate. I'm sorry about that. Sorry.
But like, this is incredible. It could be a real sort of zero to hero story for him, because we've seen the way Napoli supporters have taken to Scott McTominay. If he goes in there, and Romelu Lukaku's injured at the moment, so he would start. He would be the main man. If he goes in there and starts scoring goals again, I think there will be murals going up of him all around Naples.
Do you think it's an easier league to score goals in if you're Rasmus Højlund than the Premier League?
Oof. He's asked you some stinkers today, hasn't he?
Well, given that, I mean, traditionally, Italian defences, things like that, we're seeing it's pretty tough to break through. But the Premier League, you know, some players come in, and Højlund being one of them, expected big things, hasn't quite happened. Is he more suited to Serie A?
Well, he's played there before.
And done well.
So, yeah, he's done well. So he's got the experience of playing there. Napoli will be set up to get the best out of him. He will be the main man. Yes, of course, he's going to have pressure playing in front of those supporters, but it'll be a different kind of pressure. Unfortunately, you know, great things were expected of him at United. It hasn't worked out for him. United spent a lot of money on him. But the flip side is that he's still really, really young. I think if he grabs this opportunity, if Napoli can do a deal with United, then it could be a fantastic move for him. And he can show the world what kind of player he really is, because we just haven't seen his best at this United side. But he's not the only player who's come to United and struggled.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, look, a lot of young players go to Manchester United, and the theatre of dreams can be pretty intimidating for any player. And it hasn't quite worked for Højlund at a time when Manchester United have been in the doldrums. It's not a normal Manchester United move, is it, for a player like that? And we've seen
service has probably not quite been the same as it would have been when Beckham
and confidence levels, and you know, it's difficult for young players to sometimes, you know, be expected to be the talisman for a team when you're still developing.